Everywhere I turn lately, I've been hearing the same exact thing. Have you seen Angel Beats yet? Have you seen Angel Beats yet? Oh my god, Angel Beats is so fucking awesome. You need to watch Angel Beats. How come you haven't seen Angel Beats yet? You're an anime reviewer. You should see Angel Beats. Chill. It's fine. And I'm not just talking about particular users. It's been like everybody just talking about Angel Beats constantly. It is the one show besides Hurrah that I've heard so much about this particular season. And you know what? I think it's a deserved quality because so far from what I've seen from the first 2 episodes of Angel Beats, it is a lot of fun. It isn't great. It isn't anything particularly new or unique, but it certainly is taking all of the elements that I typically enjoy in a light anime, fantasy, yawn, fluff thingy and putting them together in a in a sequence that I find quite enjoyable. So now that I'm going to do my first impressions, all of you can just shut up until I'm done with the actual official review, which isn't going to happen anytime soon. First impressions are based on the first 2 episodes. The actual review is going to be based on the entire sweep of the thing, and it's going to be far more critical, as this is just more like me yelling at a microphone for about 9 or 10 minutes. The first thing that I noticed is that the character designs are rather derivative, which is something that I was sort of turned off by in the first place. The main character, the main female character, God, I can't remember her name. I think it's Yuri something, typical generic Japanese Mary Sue name. She shows up, and the first thing I couldn't help but think is, oh my god, she looks like Hurrah. She looks like Hurrah with red hair. I don't even see why would you want to draw a character like that anymore. It looks just like Hurrah. She sounds just like Hurrah. She acts just like Hurrah. It bugged me. It really started to grate on my nerves because I'm very sick of seeing the Suzumiya clones, and I know. Haruhi is based off of an archetype. She is. She is not a unique character in and of herself. She certainly has affected the sorts of characters that have been coming down the pipeline lately, though, because I have seen so many Haruhi clones lately that it's been driving me nuts. And so, seeing another one wasn't exactly pleasing, even though she has shown a lot more character depth than I would have expected once you get around to episode 2. But these are just, like, when I first jumped in, I started looking at the characters, and I'm like, oh god, I'm not going to like this. I mean, it looks great. The show actually does look very slick. It looks very solid. Aesthetically, it is pleasing from an anime, moe sort of perspective. But just in general, the first 10 minutes don't give the best impression. You're kind of jumping in, and it's a bunch of girls with guns, shooting at this other girl who's an angel, and they're all fighting in this sort of afterlife tournament kind of thing, or so it seems like. Really, how it's set up is that they're in a sort of purgatory, and if they don't do anything, they're going to pass on to the next state of life. This one girl, Yuri, decides, oh, you know what, we should fight against God, pretty much. Let's fight against the angel, that way we can stay alive for as long as we can, because I don't want to just pass away. She has a tragic backstory to back up why she thinks this. She sort of has a vendetta against God in the afterlife, pretty much. She pretty much wants to be as rebellious as possible, that way she can stay alive as long as possible. The other main character, the main male character, is sort of the Kion of this series. He's being sent into this afterlife. He doesn't know why he's stuck in this sort of purgatory because he doesn't have any memories of where he came from or why he's even there. But he's kind of looking around and he's like, what the hell's going on? There's all these girls firing guns, like semi-automatics, huge rocket launchers and stuff, and he's going, this is just insane. At first he doesn't believe it, but then after you see so many girls firing rocket launchers and an angel who's like this... The angel, let me describe this girl. She looks like she's about 14. She has white hair. She has a definite, kind of like moe, Rei Ayanami appeal going on. Like, in spades, she is designed to fit that sort of silent type archetype. And you have her, who basically slices him, like, straight through the stomach in the first episode. And everybody just reboots, like in Team Fortress almost, or an online shooter. Like, every time somebody dies, they just end up coming back after a while. They just have to sit it out for a little bit before they come back. They feel the pain of death, but it isn't a permanent hindrance to them. So, Yuri, thinking naturally, okay, let's just fight against the angel as long as we can then. That way we can stay within this particular plane as much as we can. Although, one of the things that, maybe this will be addressed later in the series, but they don't necessarily explain what happens when somebody disappears, they just disappear. Which I imagine you might get into some sort of a spiritual, philosophical sort of thing with that maybe the ones who disappear are the ones who are truly happy in the long run, and the ones who are struggling to stay within purgatory are just, you know, freaking insane like Yuri is. But this show, thus far, let me not get too serious about this. It is a fun, fluffy piece of fluff. Fluffy piece of fluff, if that makes any sense. The action is absolutely great. The humor is spot on. Very few animes actually manage to make me laugh out loud. This, within the course of the second episode, I was rolling on the floor a few times. They're typical jokes expected from these sorts of characters, but the timing is so perfect that you just can't help but laugh at it. There was numerous sections of people dying in the most amazing sorts of ways possible. Not in a gory sort of sense, but they'll do something stupid, and it'll somehow manage to get them killed in the most hilarious way possible. For example, there's this one chick within Yuri's group, these rebels that are fighting against the angels in order to keep from disappearing. And she finds this cat that's stuck in this box that's meowing, and she goes, "Oh my god, I have to go rescue it," and it's running down this river. She goes to get it, jumps up into the air, and accidentally falls down a waterfall. It's just absolutely stunning how funny that was to me. It hit you out of nowhere. You're going, okay, it's the silent girl falling for the cute thing again. It's not particularly something new. But when it's done with such integrity, with such commitment to gags, you can't help but find it funny. And that has to go with the fan service as well. Thus far, there's a little bit too much moe for my taste, but I use the word moe way too much. This sort of, it has way too much of a, that can't quite describe it. It's the art style, I think. It has too much of that we're appealing to the fan base in order to sell figurines sort of thing, as opposed to, you know, just telling a good story with good gags, which is a lot of what troubles me a little bit about the anime industry. I'm not going to complain about it too much like Ayasaka 420 does about how there's no originality anymore and how Gundam was the best thing ever. Please excuse me, Ayasaka 420. I love you. It's just that sometimes you get off on bashing new anime like way, way, way too freaking much, and it's all you ever seem to talk about. And it makes me wonder, like, you know, why the hell are you even having an anime review channel when, like, when most of the stuff you seem to hate, including yaoi, even though you love Yuri, which makes no sense to me. Okay, back to the show. You see, this is what happens when I review something, or do a first impressions for something that I'm going to review later, is the fact that it never turns out right. It's just, it's manic, it's crazy, it's Sparta. You have to sit back and watch Angel Beats, I think, for what it is. It pretty much, it isn't going to be anything really in-depth. It isn't going to be something that's going to absolutely change the way you look at anime. It takes the ingredients that it has and cooks up a really delicious stew that I think most fans of anime are going to be very pleased by. And it's definitely one of the biggest surprises out of the shows that I've managed to take a peek at so far this season. This is MPig, and I am signing out. Hopefully you guys, like, love me still after this blasphemy that I had pulled upon you.